Okay, cool. Um, well, welcome to the next dimension of living. That's the tagline that we've come up with 5 years ago when we didn't have the new dimension, but we started to work on it. Just a little bit more about me personally and my business partner. So I am originally from Ukraine, been here for 35 years. My business partner, Ross, is from England. And we started the company. Both of us combined have 50 years of construction experience. So construction and development experience. And when we started the business, like I said, about 5 years ago, our mission was to build faster, less expensive, and with a positive environmental impact, because construction is such a polluter with all the waste generated, with cement, so on and so forth. Um, and um, it was easy to say we wanted to accomplish this. We tried to do it initially. It was just doing something, just using better software, hiring better people, but that was not making the impact that we were hoping for. So during COVID, we worked for 3 years to develop a process to 3D print structures using the recycled materials. So what you see on the left is our 3D printer at work. I'm not in our factory right now. I'm traveling in Denver, but Ross is in our factory in Culver City, and we have one of those printers going. It's a very unique process, layer by layer. We print. If you see on this middle slide, we print the roof, the side wall, the floor, and another side wall. The front and the back are subject to customization. And you can see on the right here, it's a structure that consists of a couple of our modules. So they connect, so the units are built in the factory and brought to the site, and they can come on wheels. We have a part model, several part models. I'll go through the floor plans and prices before we're done here. But we'll also have units that go on foundation. So really kind of a great variety for what you might be looking for. We're in process of moving our factory. We've been in the same place now for a couple of years, but our demand is much higher than our capacity to make this. So we are assembling 2 more printers. So in February, we'll go from 1 printer to 3 printers, tripling our capacity. We're going from 8,000 square feet facility to a 20,000 square feet facility. We're moving to Gardena. Some of you are familiar with Southern California. Right now, we're right by LA Airport and Culver City, and we're moving just 12 miles south to Gardena. So very easy to find us. Many people come drive to see our facility or fly down to see our facility. We've had people from all over the world who came to visit. So if you're interested, we can talk more. But you also, before the build starts or during your thinking process, you'll be welcome to come and see your unit. So a little bit about production process, because as was mentioned earlier, it's something new. Don't be surprised if you've never heard of this, because we're the first ones in the world to 3D print with recycled plastics. There are some people who 3D print with cement. That was the beginning of this industry. We didn't like using cement because it is terrible for the environment. So we developed the material, and really only 65% of the material is recycled polymers. The other 35 is fiberglass, UV stabilizer, fire protection material. So all of the things that make it a very sustainable, but also very reliable, very safe material for making homes. So here how the process works. Configuration takes 1 hour. Literally, for people who are interested to move forward and place a deposit, we usually jump on the call, on a video call. It actually can take as little as half an hour to pick all the different options. And there are lots of options, between doors and windows and interiors, how they are finished. Again, 3D printing allows a lot of flexibility. We don't have a lot of flexibility with the kind of size of the units, because the part that's 3D printed is pretty much fixed, but a lot of other things are flexible. It takes us 1 day to print the module, which is usually that's where a huge, but that's where the saving comes because traditional builders, might spend 3, 4, 5 months building the structure. And for us, it's a 24-hour process. Once the structure is built, then it moves to we have 5 different stations in our factory where we do all the prefabrication. That's where we do insulation. By the way, units have excellent insulation. So even in the climates where it gets cold in the winter or cold at night, our units are just wonderful. Our baseline is R30 all around, which is much higher than a lot of other tiny homes and just homes in general. But if it's going to colder climates, we have a lot of clients from Midwest and Northeast. We can increase insulation very easily. Now it needs to be programmed before we print, but we can go to R37, R44. So really well insulated. Not only is it insulated for air, it's also very good for soundproofing. I was asked just 3 months ago to bring our unit to Verge 23. It's a big sustainability conference in San Jose. And they thought that maybe it's a good idea to use one of the units as a conference room. So we were the huge exhibit hall, and people just loved getting in the space that was peace and quiet when there was a lot of noise from 1,000+ people in the conference. So soundproof and excellent insulation. Once the unit is finished, depending on how far you are, a matter of delivery. So far, because we had this limited capacity, we've delivered all of our units in California. But after February, we have orders from 19 states, and actually a number of them from Latin America, South America. So maybe Patrick might consider just to add some fun to his communities in Mexico, Costa Rica, and then even in Latin America. We have inquiries from all over the world. It's pretty incredible. I mean, with internet, lots of interest from Asia, Europe, and even Africa. Anyway, once the stuff is delivered, of course, when it comes on wheels, it's a matter of just a few hours to tie it down. But even units that come that attach to the foundation needs to be built before unit arrives. And we have a full design for a foundation. We use a perimeter foundation, so it doesn't require a slab. It's less expensive and easier to make than the slab. And then the unit gets designed to be attached to a foundation. And of course, so the whole process is 20 days. Now, again, we are pretty backed up, but if you would be interested to have a tiny home delivered in the next months or two, that's something that can be done because our increased capacity is going to happen just in a matter of weeks. This is a one of our units on wheels again, and on the left is all the publicity we've gotten. It's been pretty crazy. I mean, we started out by getting publicity about about 2 years ago when we printed our first unit, but it's been just from people who have been tiny home enthusiasts, sustainability enthusiasts, 3D printing, and then last year lots of national we were on CBS News nationally, on Fox in Southern California, Spectrum nationally, and then just yesterday we had a terrific coverage in Dwell magazine. So again, if you follow any of our socials, or just email me, I will be able to send you. They did a beautiful feature on the unit that we installed in Big Sur. So very, very fortunate. So these are just some images of the interior. They really are. So on one hand, they're affordable. On the other hand, I've always said my whole life that affordable housing does not need to be ugly. And so we really, my business partner, Ross, has incredible design sense. And these are actual pictures. And we like to finish them so that if for your own use, you can really enjoy them. If it's for Airbnb or short-term rentals, you can get premium rates. So the unit I've been talking about in Big Sur, they paid about $60,000 for it, and they're now getting $750 a night, and they're totally booked up. I mean, we have somebody who wants to use it in February, and there's nothing available. So let's spend a little bit of time on discussing this park model units. So our smallest one is X180. So the number stands for how many square feet, and X stands for, that's a model that is a park model. It's just a small studio. It has a bathroom and a shower there on the left, a dining room, and space for a queen size bed. Very economical. Next slide will cover all of the rates. X270 is a small one bedroom. Again, nice bedroom size. Again, beautiful bathroom with a shower, and then you have a dining living room space. I might be going too fast, but we'll have time for plenty of questions, right? The bottom unit is X360. That's our biggest unit on wheels. I mean, as you know, park models need to be under 400 square feet. So that fits that category. It's also 9 feet wide, so it's easy to transport on a freeway without. We still need to get a special permit, but doesn't need a vehicle to be in front of the truck or behind the truck, so it lowers the delivery cost. And so here you have a master bedroom with master bath here and left. You have dining, living, and then you have second bedroom. Now, a lot of our customers have an option of, instead of making this a second bedroom, it could be just an office. And now, you could just move this wall to the right. So in an area where there is a closet, you move it so you have a small office, and now it expands the area for the living dining room. Or do it just the way it's shown on this schematic. It can be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit. So let's go through the prices. Again, the prices are very reasonable. So the X180 is just under $50,000, and 270 is just under 80,000, and 360 is just under 95,000. So Jason and Zach asked us to consider giving a special promotion for the folks members of the tinyhouse.com community. And this is the largest discount we've ever offered. And it's only available today and tomorrow. So we're offering 10% off those prices that you see above. So it's a very substantial saving. The conditions are cannot be combined with other offers. So we've run some other smaller promotions, but you can take a look at our website and see, maybe a month's old promotion combined with this. So this is much better than anything offered to just general community. And to take advantage of this offer, we're looking for a $250 refundable deposit by tomorrow. So either today or tomorrow. I know today is going to be full day, so you might not have enough time, but tomorrow, my business partner, I, and all of our members of our business development team are available to questions. So to secure this deal, you need to put $250 deposit by tomorrow, and then 10% deposit that's non-refundable by the end of the month. So this would give us time to go through configuration, to answer any questions. Now people ask, what's the bottom line? And I've been in this business long enough where I really hate surprises. So by the time you put your 10% deposit, you will have a full price. So the things that are not included in these prices are appliances, air conditioning, and solar. Everything else is. So it's going to be totally finished with electric, water, plumbing, all the interior finishes, lighting, cabinets, on and on and on. The other, really, you'll be able to use this 10% off you pretty much now almost anywhere you need HVAC, right? And that's about 3,700 or $3,800 to the price. A lot of our communities, again, that first picture I showed, the unit in Big Sur is totally off grid. The solar and the battery are definitely options, and many of the customers take advantage of that. We now have a partnership with a couple of companies that can provide portable septic systems. So, of course, if you're going to use this unit on a property that has septic or has sewer, or in a tiny village community that has all those connections in place, that's the easiest. But if you don't have any of those in place, we can explore a portable septic option that'll be kind of attached to the unit. And we even exploring the area in areas that don't have water. There is now new technology that can extract water from the air, especially if it's in the communities, in areas with high humidity. But they claim that they can even extract it in very dry communities like Arizona. So anyway, those options are available. Delivery is also not included. It all depends on the distances. We now work with 3 different delivery companies, and we usually get very competitive pricing. Also, customers can arrange their own delivery, so we'll make any money on this. So if you have somebody you worked with before, then you can have them deliver it. I'm going to leave this this slide for me. Again, this is a picture of our studio in Big Sur. You can see they did a beautiful job. So the unit itself, this is not a park model. It's one of our ADU models. When you go on our website, there is a page that has the product. And so, the ADU, so ADU models look like this. And of course, they can vary in size because this is just one module of 180 square feet, and you can add up to 5. So you can have a 900 square feet 2-bedroom that'll be just deeper. The front entry is what you see here. But what they did is they built a deck and create a little spa in front of it. And then on the bottom, you can just see this red chair, but they have a little fire pit. And of course, it has a beautiful view. So this is an example. In addition to, like I've said, they bought a unit that retails, the ADU unit retails for just under $40,000. But then they added solar, AC, they picked all the top finishes. So the total was just under 60,000. But then they really spent a little bit more money on the beautiful deck and the spa. And now they're going to get their money back in a matter of 90 to 120 days. Wonderful return on investment. So again, just this is a kind of it's a picture of an ADU, and then we'll go back, and this is a picture of a park model. Again, both very unique designs, both have lots of light. The park models have ability to have some units, some windows in the roof, so your sunlight. I'm running quick through this, so let me see whether I'm not sure that I can see the picture and the questions. So maybe I don't know whether Jason and Zach are on the phone or maybe Jel. You could let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer, and we can go. Plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm here too, so can help facilitate any questions and whatnot. So looks like there are a couple of questions in the Q&A section. There's 3 of them that I'm seeing there right now, or I guess 2 of them specifically. And then I can just fire them off to you if you can't see them. Do you want me to?
That'd be great because I don't see them.
Okay. Yeah. Sylvia says, what does this kind of construction cost? Is a limitation not being able to change your mind on build design during the process? That was
Yeah. So maybe I should post that question before I went through the prices. Yeah, you really need to make up really your mind before the print starts. So there are lots of again, I'm going to go back to these floor plans. So, for example, what doors and windows you use are subject to customization. Lighting inside. So again, lighting, cabinets, um, plumbing fixtures. Those we have like 2 options for lighting, 4 options for flooring, 4 options for cabinets. So there are lots of options to choose from. But because our build is so fast, um, customers need to really make decision before we start. And like I mentioned, for example, in X360, we can move some interior walls. So some customers want to have a little bit more space for the kitchen. Some people want less. Again, the customer in Big Sur didn't want to have a full kitchen, just wanted to have enough to plug in a refrigerator and plug in a coffee because they have a wonderful restaurant on site. So they don't want people to necessarily cook in the unit, but you can have more or less of a lot of things. So the things that are not flexible are the size. Again, that's why we develop 3 sizes you can choose from. And once the unit prints, the exterior is your set. On interior, again, while there is flexibility, you need to make a decision before the build starts, because once it starts, 3 to 4 weeks later, you will have a unit ready. So there's not going to be time to make changes. Go ahead, fire away. Any more questions?
All right, let's see here. Sylvia asked, does adding more windows increase cost?
Yeah, it does, but it's not very substantial. I mean, the windows are, yeah, and we will give you the price. The beauty of this is, before you even put your 10% deposit, you have a choice to decide on the windows, decide on the doors, and you'll know the cost up front. And as we go through configuration process, it automatically adds up the prices so that you can make a decision ahead of time. I think what we find that customers really appreciate knowing, just not having surprises, knowing what the cost is going to be, knowing if they need financing. Actually, I should talk about financing. So we have partnerships with 3 different lenders. A couple of them are national, one of them in California specific, and thank goodness the rates are coming down. I mean, we've had incredible amount of interest just in the last 6 weeks when the Federal Reserve finally decided to slow down on the rates. Yeah, so again, during this process, during the first 2-3 weeks, we can connect you with lenders that can really give you all kind of options. But anyway, back to Sylvia's question. You will know what it is, and as you go through configuration process, you can make a decision whether having extra windows or doors, is worth it, whether you want it. I mentioned the unit will have skylights, the park model. So, we find again. I've been part of this movement for a while and been to many people's tiny homes. We find that people get a tiny home so they can enjoy the outside. So really, the idea here is to create a wonderful indoor-outdoor living. Yeah, if you need more windows, definitely an option, and you will know the cost, and it's not very substantial.
Cool. Yeah, the next one is a question: is any issues with leaking skylights?
No issues with leaking skylights. We kind of because we 3D print structures, we can really size the openings to exactly what the skylight will be. So again, I'm very familiar. I was a developer and contractor before I started this company. I'm very aware of skylight leakage problems. Generally, it happens because the opening is not exactly, it is not designed to be for the size of the skylight. I mean, the same issues come with our roofs. Our roofs are not going to leak because the roof is kind of part of the internal structure of the building. So, 3D printing technology allows a just incredible precision with everything, so that not only it's built very solidly, but also does generate a lot anyways. And if we, in some instances, we have kind of unsuccessful print, we regrind the material and use it for the next print. So yeah, no, it's precision is pretty incredible. Again, in this instance, having a robot do the job is a huge benefit. And then the whole construction happens in our factory. So we have ability to really monitor quality at every step of the process. When the units are built on site, the contractor just can't be at every step of the process. They usually rely on subcontractors. In our instance, we do most of the work ourselves. We still use some subs, but they are required to come to our factory and do the work. So the ability from QA to a lot of less waste, have really ability to monitor, what's going on.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. All right, so we got a question from Doug. Are the houses suitable and code compliant for Canada?
Yeah, very good question. Not yet. So Canada requires a different certification, and we are determined to get this accomplished because of lots of inquiries from Canada. We expect that by the end of 24, we will be able to ship units to Canada. But yeah, very good question, and it's something we are very aware. We have not only we have customers from Canada, we also have people who want to license our technology to create a factory there. So yeah, units are very well designed for cold climates. So I really believe that there's going to be huge need. But and again, Canada, of course, has lots of different provinces. So we built to an ANSI certification. So Doug, maybe we can connect after this. And depending where you are, some of our customers are being able to talk to their local municipalities and see whether an ANSI approved unit, uh, you know, can work in their environment. So let's explore it. We'll definitely be able to do this by the end of the year. Go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so how do the homes do in extreme heat, snow, and hurricanes? Are they hurricane
Yeah.
compliant?
Yeah. Very, very good question. So before we started work on this, we did a bunch of computer analysis. So we looked at wind, earthquakes, snow loads, and of course, many questions about hurricane. So let me address them one at a time. The unit is designed to withstand the hurricane winds up to 150 miles an hour. Um, the Some customers from South Florida or South Texas, where they require higher wind certification, up to 195, that can be also arranged. They would need to be attached to foundation. So with a stronger foundation, we can design them to withstand a much higher winds. In terms of snow loads, yeah, the units are designed to withstand to have up to 50 pounds per square foot of a snow load. That's generally a requirement for like 90% of the area. So we can also make these units with a little bit of a higher roof pitch. In big snow areas, they require a 412 roof pitch, and our units can be designed for that. I'm now in Colorado because we're considering establishing our next factory here in Denver, and so this location will probably print all of their units with a snow load because it doesn't snow here a lot, but it's very cold here now, and they expect some snow very soon. So yeah, so we really thought through it. Material is very sturdy, and with a little bit higher pitch on the roof, we'll be able to accomplish that. Earthquake, because we started the company in LA, that was requirement number one. Again, withstand the earthquake. I think the question was about unit going in the desert. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we've added additives to our material so that unit doesn't expand, when it's hot, and contract when it's cold. So a lot of thought was given to that. We have a UV stabilizer in our product because, again, the stuff made from polymers can fade. We give a 10-year warranty on the units, but for color, and we actually give 15-year warranty. We work with a major stain supplier, and they have an incredible product. So, oh, and by the way, you can paint these units. The exterior color can be anything you choose, because yeah. So once we apply the stain with UV stabilizer, you will not need to repaint for 15 years. I think that addresses all of those questions, but I'll be more than happy again for your specific area. We as I mentioned, we have pre-orders from 19 states, so in several countries. So I think in the last 2 years I've become a expert on what the different requirements are. Hawaii have different requirements as well. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to work with you. And we don't because of our goal is to become much more effective. We don't necessarily do the permitting for you, but we now have a network of permit expediters and local civil engineers, and we can refer you to some very reliable and economical folks who can help you, especially if it's concerning ADU. I mean, the beauty of a tiny home unit on wheels is that there are a number of areas that allow them by right. But if you would like to have an ADU for with a foundation, then it would require a permit. We also have some smaller units. Again, when you go to our product page on our website, we have these backyard studios, 100 to 120 square feet. They do not have bathrooms and kitchens, but several of our glamping clients and private individuals are very popular because those units are considered sheds, so they don't require any permit. The only permit you need is just to connect them to electric if you don't use solar. And then if there is either common bathrooms or a bathroom in your house where a short-term rental user can use it and then use the bathroom that's not in the unit. And those are much more economical, start from under 20,000 to 25,000. They can be built a lot quicker. They can be built in 5 days. We are delivering a unit this week that was just ordered last week. Yeah, definitely an option. And we have glamping resorts that buy them, and the people buy them for their own use.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we got another question here. Are you finishing the inside of the unit so that you can hide plumbing and electrical, or are they incorporated into the modular kitchen and bath modules?
Yeah. No, they're totally hidden. Just like, you can see here, you don't see any of you don't see on any of these pictures. I mean, we basically, we have between the print and the unit, we have like a panel. It's like a sheetrock product, and all of the electrical, plumbing, water is all hidden. So it's a real nice, clean finish, and they'll come out just like you see here in this picture. So
cool.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have a real cool look.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it does look nice and clean in there for sure.
Yep.
All right, so another question from Dale. Did you realize the 9-foot width causes an increase in shipping costs over 8.5-foot? Why did you make that choice?
Yeah. So we could have easily gone with 8.5 or even 8 feet because the unit that fits into a container would need to be 8 feet, right, to be shipped overseas. The problem is that if you make this unit even narrower, there is not going to be, I mean, it's so tight in there that you will not be able to put a queen size bed. So the cost, you can go all the way to 10 feet and transport on the freeway with just a permit. It doesn't increase substantially. The cost increase of shipping a 9 or 10 feet wide unit versus 8.5 feet, it's literally 20% over. So the cost to ship one of those units from LA to San Diego is $1,000 normally, and because it's a little bit oversized, it's $1,200. So it's really, really very small. But we would lose so much in the design. I mean, again, so for example, this unit is handicap accessible. You wouldn't be able to do it if it's narrower, or you would have to do a real tiny shower. So the bathroom area would be very affected. The sleeping area would be very much affected. And we really made the choice to go with at least 9 feet. It just feels we've spent lots of time on this, and for example, if this were to be used for emergencies, so for example, we're talking with FEMA about helping victims of the Maui fires. Yeah, if there is a need for hundreds of units and they need to be shipped less expensive, we would consider making them narrower. But I just don't believe that for long-term use, permanent housing, the width of the container or width of the highway lane, where it costs a little bit more to ship one time, shouldn't affect the quality of living. So yeah, we've considered it many times for different situations, and if somebody were to say, yeah, I want it and I want 100 of them that are narrower, we're able to do it. But for individual home buyers or even people who just do small villages or glamping resorts, I just don't recommend going narrower.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, another question. What's the highest wall height? Which I'm guessing maybe
Yeah,
the question is like, how tall is the unit from,
yeah.
base to top?
So again, to make smaller units feel more spacious, we're doing inside 10.5 feet. Again, you can see it from here. Uh, they're high ceilings, and the reason so a unit on wheels will be the total between the chassis, the wheel, the chassis, and the unit will be 13.5 feet, which is maximum that's allowed to pass under bridges and stuff like this. But on the inside, it's really spacious. Again, back to similar discussion we had, why can't you make it narrow? Why can't you make it lower? Yeah, it would save a little bit of money, but it would be just a totally different feel. So they are really spacious, quite honestly, because of the high ceilings. So they really are, 10 and a half feet high, and just makes them look so much more spacious. And so before we started printing 2 years ago, we spent 3 years creating this. All the questions that are being asked today, I started talking about entrepreneurs, and it's like we had the same questions to ourselves. What is the right mix? What can we come out with? And we discussed the heights of the ceilings and widths of the units and lengths of the units. And really, and not only just discuss it, we had a lot of customer input. We have almost 1,000 investors. We did crowdfunding back in 22, 23. So we raised money from some 850 investors on crowdfunding, and then we have 35 investors who are seasoned kind of investors, and so we've had tremendous amount of input from customers and investors before we started shipping these units. And so many of those areas have been discussed, and I'm sure there's going to be changes. I mean, but we feel very confident that so far what we have kind of is the right mix, and we have purchase orders for different type of units from some 140 customers. So it feels like we're on the right step, and I think that we will consider making some changes, but not in 24. 24, our goal is to have them approved for Canada and Europe. That it uses a little bit different. They use UL certification, and then second goal is to figure out how to stack them vertically. Again, all of the units you've seen, they're all one story, but some people have very tight sites and want to get many, many inquiries of how can we go vertically. So that's another big area we're working on how to stack these units vertically. So you could have a two-story or even using mid-rise and high-rise buildings, just be able to slide them in. The other thing I want to point out, they're very light. So a the X180 is just about 11,000 pounds, maybe 11 to 12,000 pounds. Same unit built from wood and roof would be over 20,000 pounds. Our little backyard studios that are like 120 square feet are, the weight of the jacuzzi. They weigh like 5,000 pounds. So with the light weight, what that does is it allows, again, less expensive to ship. And we can have a low boy, just a pickup truck, towing a low boy can deliver one of these units if it's on wheels, and of course on wheels, pickup truck can deliver it. And then when you get to the installation, of course, the easiest thing, especially on wheels, is just to wheel it in place. But if people require foundation, it could be narrow area to deliver it, or it has to lift it over the garage or over the house. We've done some spectacular installations where units get lifted way high over some large homes. So yeah, the lightness of the structure also makes it kind of more, just more easier to use, easier to install and deliver.
Cool. Awesome. All right, I think that answered that question. Somebody asked, do you ship to Mexico?
Yeah. So we have not shipped to Mexico yet, but we have two customers that are going to be getting their units in the spring to Mexico. So with a free trade agreement, there is no custom fees to deliver them there. There are lots of shippers. Even we get some material from Mexico. There are lots of people who bring stuff from Mexico and go back home empty. So cost is not as high. And as Patrick mentioned, the regulations are so much lighter. So yeah, I really see that in terms of international destinations, Mexico is going to be the first place. And both of the customers we're working with are in Baja California, but I can see how these can be delivered in many, many places and just be such a great. And again, if you deliver on wheels, you can, these are not RVs, as you know. They're not intended to be moved every week, but you could have a property in Mexico, use it in rent a property if you can't buy it for a couple of years, and then if you want to decide to move to another area or move it back to US, you can tow it along. So yeah, and we would really be excited. I really, my goal is to put them in some beautiful spots and then take a tour where I can spend a year staying in different tiny homes around the world. So that's our vision.
Cool. All right, so we have another question. Do you have any drawings or pictures of like the wall details? Is it like honeycombed or is it a solid printed wall? How do you guys, I guess, print your
Yeah,
walls?
yeah, yeah. No, that's a good question. Let's take a look at this one. So you see on the side there, it's we'll leave people love the look of the print itself. So the side walls, the roof, and the floor are left in the same way they're printed. Let's see what I have some other pictures. Yeah. So I know you can see here. Okay, here you can see just so the front and the back are like cement board. So that's subject to customization. We have like four different options how you can do the front and the back. But the sides, you can see it here on the right, or you can see it on this picture here on the right. That looks like just like the print. On the interior, on the other hand, it's a smooth finish. Um, yeah, so and then the front and the back is open to customization. Again, we can make it look like this, or have really this type of look. So really, and even in our factory, we now have four units that all have different front and back. So
Okay, cool. And then like the actual printing of the wall, I've seen some like, really small 3D printers, and sometimes it'll like print the honeycomb to where it's not just like, a solid thick thing of plastic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Are those printed walls, are they completely solid or are they like honeycombed?
No, they're completely solid.
Completely solid.
We print them. Yeah, we do the whole print in one set.
Okay.
Let's see, I'll go back to the picture that shows the print. But they really are. Yeah, I don't know you can see it here, but they're completely solid.
Okay.
That adds to that rigidity I was talking about and waterproofness and all that.
Yep.
And yeah, I think what you're referring to 3D printing with cement, that print sometimes is very thick. Quite honestly, it's subject to taste. But our print is takes hundreds of layers to make one of these units, and they're very very. It almost looks like vinyl records. It's like
Okay.
a bunch
Yeah.
of vinyl
Yeah.
records stacked together. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Very cool. All right. The next question. Um, uh, Somebody was asking if there's a place they could find photos of a finished home, on the inside specifically. I think we saw the Big Sur one here. That's the exterior, but if there's any on the inside, and if you just want to direct people to a specific location or whatnot, are these actually real photos here or renders?
These are the real photos. These are the
Oh,
real photos.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So these are the real photos of the unit. So yeah, uh, it is it is exactly what it looks like. Um,
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. All right. So then the next question would be Lizzie, somebody is asking the highest ceiling for a home on foundation. I know you already kind of talked through that question, but I'm guessing you're
Yeah,
probably
yeah. So
kind
on foundation, the high it's 10.5 feet. Now, I mentioned 13.5 feet. It's only we had 3 more feet for the wheels and the chassis. So the unit itself is 10.5 feet. Of course, on the foundation, you can put it so it's you can dig in the foundation so it'll be right. That's at right at just the entry uh, from the ground. Yeah. So there again, the interior of the unit is exactly the same, either on wheels or without wheels, and the only thing is chassis and wheels add another 3 feet.
cool, cool. Okay, yeah. And then another question. Let's see. Somebody asked if you could do a Murphy bed on the inside of your home.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you can do a Murphy bed. A lot of people do that because then you have this whole area, kind of a living space, living dining. You also can do a cloud bed. So we work with Ori. Ori is a manufacturer of cloud beds. I know you've seen them. It's where the bed just comes up into the ceiling because our ceilings are so high. The bed can come up. Um, they're a great company. The only thing is they're still not able to fulfill like one order at a time. They want to have at least 10 to 15 units, and then they'll install the Ori cloud beds. They look very cool. They're a little bit expensive. They're about 12 to $15,000. But if somebody's looking for a glamping resort where you can do say 15 units, yeah, they can all come with cloud beds. But definitely Murphy bed is a on the inside, it is just like any unit you can see. You can hang pictures, you can attach a Murphy bed, cloud bed. So they're very, very sturdy. And I really, cloud bed, I mean, especially for this situation, a Murphy bed would be a great solution because then now you have a lot more space and only put the cloud bed when you during at nighttime.
Cool, cool. Awesome. Yeah. And somebody asked, are there any fumes from the recycled plastic? So any off-gassing or any VOC or anything?
Yeah,
Um,
no, not at all. Again, good question. Basically, the fumes from recycled plastic are only created, again, if we've looked into this in a lot of depths. It's when you break up when you break up the plastic when the fumes create. So there's not going to be any exposure to plastic from the inside because between the plastic and the inside there's going to be insulation and of course the interior wall. But and we've had air quality tested. They really come out just very clean air on the inside. So it is absolutely not an issue. So first of all, the material itself, it's a combination of recycled polymers and fiberglass. So it feels like cement. I mean, again, if you were to come to one of our units or our factory, you wouldn't believe that it's made from plastic. But there is absolutely, it's just not an issue. You're not going to be chewing these walls or drinking from them. It's they're gonna create the exterior of this, and we've tested the air quality. We've now had our first unit was made in April of 22, and we test the air, and it's in our factory. It's just not a problem. Very good question. I know there's been a lot of publicity lately, and it's just again, you're not going to be drinking from it or eating on it or chewing it. So as long as you don't do that, you'll be in good shape.
Yeah, true. Cool. Okay. Somebody asked, will you sell these all through your own website, or are you open to having authorized retailers selling your products?
Yeah, we're open to authorize the resellers. So yeah, I am. Our all of our sales now are direct, and because all people coming from primarily from Southern California, some from Northern California. But if you're a dealer and selling in other areas, please contact me. We are. If you were to ask me that question 6 months ago when we had so much pre-orders directly, we would say no. But now that we're expanding capacity in our current factory and planning another factory somewhere around US, we'll have more capacity so that dealers can sell. And we've now, even for our sales force, developed lots of Q&As and videos so that we're now prepared to work with dealers. Again, we want to make sure we work with people who really believe in quality and who can assist customers with installation and financing. Because right now we do this in California, but there were lots of inquiries from Colorado, Texas, Florida, all over Southeast, lots, even Massachusetts, Ohio. And so we kind of leave customers to their own to figure out how to install them, how to finance them. So we could have a dealer who could add value. Really, we're about quality experience for the customers. We really want people to be happy and just to have a smooth experience from ordering the unit to getting it installed, getting it financed. So I don't see us having just ton of dealers. But if you have experience with other quality products and would love to work with us, yeah, please reach out to me. And we really are ramping up our production and want to work with folks around the country who can help us get these units out there. And the number I give you is my direct number. So since our article yesterday in Dwell, I've been overwhelmed with calls and texts. So just I generally return calls within 24 hours, but if the best way to reach me is by email. But if you need something urgent, if you want to make a decision quickly, just text me, and I'm on the road quite a bit. I actually last year spoke at 20 different conferences around the U.S. All the way from glamping show in Colorado to sustainability conferences, affordable housing conferences, you name it. But I'm gonna slow down my travel this year, and yeah, so just easy to reach. Easiest is through email, but also through text. And we have now a team of 6 people around the country in my sales team. So if I don't call you directly, one of them will, and they've now been with the company for most of last year, and so they become very knowledgeable in our process.
Cool. Well, it looks like
Time flies when you have fun. I think we're
yeah,
almost done here.
seriously, yeah, I was gonna say we're just about kind of towards the very end of this here. Looks like we had Lynn who's trying to raise her hand. Lynn, if you have a last minute question, you can go ahead and just type it in or whatnot, just because we're running out of time. Otherwise, I would jump you in there. Let's see here. All of a sudden, I lost my chat. There did the chat go? Cool. Well, yeah, would love to hear more about your guys's what you guys are doing too, and keep up with you guys over this 2024 year. Sounds like you guys are gonna like really be doing a lot of amazing things and whatnot. So really excited for that, and really appreciate your time. Thanks for jumping in here today and sharing with everybody what you guys got going on and showing your process and just how your guys' unique idea is actually kind of revolutionizing building construction timelines, and also just a great use of recycled plastic. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
appreciate
I think
that.
it turned out great. I mean, I only presented for 20 minutes. I had 30 minutes for questions. And, we really are excited to be part of tinyhouse.com community. And you guys, Jason and Zach, do a great job of educating. I mean, I think it's the more people know about their options, the easier it'll be for this movement to accelerate. So, again,
Yep.
thank you for ability to present, and good luck. I'm gonna go fly back to LA, and at 4 o'clock I'll be in our factory. So if somebody wants to see some shots of our units, well, you'll be able to see them.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, that's fun. You're gonna be literally on a plane in between now and when we see you next. So
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Good
Great.
stuff.
Thanks. Have a great rest of the day.
Absolutely appreciate it. Talk to you later.